welcome to Outdoors Kg4muk. Glad y'all back in here. If y'all come back in, we're going to start all over. We had gotten a phone call, and I wish that I could figure out how to make this thing not do that. But normally, nobody's never calling me, so it's usually never a problem. So, oh boy. Anyway, I'm going to try to invite some people. Just give me just a second here. Let's see. Hi. Hey everybody, welcome to Outdoors Kg4muk. I just wanted to real quickly give y'all a little bit of an update on what was going on with the 1306 Marathon. I had issues with it, and there had been, when I would operate during the times that we would like go live or something, we had that RF problem. We got that issue fixed. Everything in here that's electronic has got filters on every single thing that there is to have filters on. And as we were going through stuff and checking stuff and getting things tested out and trying to figure out what was going on with it, we found out that the reasons why that the amplifier would not operate on 10 meters, and it did have, and let me say this, the Ameritron 1300 does not have the 10 meter board in it. The 1306 Ameritron actually has the board in it already, and that amplifier is supposed to work on 6 through 160 meters, all bands, period, with a good matching SWR. Alright, with that being said, now here's where it gets a little bit technical. I had let the radio equipment set for a little bit, and I came back here and I operated, and for some reason, I don't know why, the relay stuck and it wouldn't click to key up. It was like the radio would never send a signal to it. So I tried it with the FT101 with the computer control. That didn't work. We tried it with an RCA jack the old-fashioned way. That still didn't work. I hooked it up to each one of these radios, tried it both ways with a computer control cable, tried it with the RCA jack cables, both the old school way and the new age way of trying to get the relay to click. Never did work. Okay, now we established that there was a relay issue. So I shipped it to Ameritron in Starkville, Mississippi. And when I called the guy told me, mail it to this address, try to get it down here as soon as you can. We'll try to get to it as soon as we can. Well, there's some things happen. Couldn't do it right away, so I mailed it the following week. And I got it mailed. I had the confirmation. Somebody signed for it. I waited about 3-4 weeks, and then I contacted Ameritron. Never got an answer. Called them just about every other day for about 3 weeks. Nobody never answered. Tried it all kinds of different hours. Nobody never answered. I was getting worried. I was like, holy cow, my amp's gone. So I called over to a different part of Ameritron. They said, call MFJ. I called MFJ. When I called MFJ, they had told me that the day he picked it up was the day they put a padlock on the door at Ameritron. And Ameritron's office is closed. There's nothing there. Nothing but spider webs. They moved a whole operation to MFJ, just a few blocks down the road. They do not have a full crew of technicians anymore. They're pretty much down to 1 or 2 people that's working on all those Ameritron amplifiers now. And I didn't find this out until about 4 or 5 weeks after the fact. So I talked to the guy, told me they were putting a padlock on the door as he was leaving. UPS guy or FedEx, whoever it was, I can't even remember. It's been so long now. They dropped it off. He signed for it. He took it on to the MFJ office. Well, I called. It's been about 4 weeks now. I called, kind of get an update on where it's at. They're nowhere near touching that amplifier right now. They've only got 2 people working in the office, and they get an extra guy that comes in once in a while that helps them. Now, with that being said, Ameritron's been super nice with me. The techs have been super nice. Everything about it's all been good. When I call, they communicate with me. They tell me what they're up against, and I feel sorry for them. Seriously, I really do. Because he's only 1 or 2 guys working on 6 months worth of backup. When you're working with electronics and you're doing technical stuff, you cannot just fly through this stuff. Sometimes there's some gremlins in it, and it takes an act of Congress to find this stuff. So it takes time. And to do it right and do it professionally right, it takes time. I know a lot of people are impatient, and they don't got the patience for it. And that's just that's other people. So I talked to the guy after I talked to him and told him all of what it was doing. We come to the conclusion that the relay must have went out in it, and the reasons why it's not working on 10 and 12 meters, which I keep hitting me with, well, that's so close to 10 to 11 meters, that radio is not going to go down but so far. I'm like, well, I don't care anything about operating on 11 meters, okay? I want it to operate on 10, 12, 17, and all the other bands that thing is supposed to operate on. Let's come find out it was that coil in there that they stretch in and out when they got it on a scope to get the harmonics right when it's in a certain portion of the band. Okay, because of the coil being maybe a little out of mismatch, it's not going to operate on 10. It's got a 10-meter board in it, but it's not going to operate like it's supposed to because that coil's out of adjustment. So, whenever they can get to work on the Ameritron 1306 for me, we've discussed the issues and the problems and kind of collaborated about, what it was doing and where it was doing it at. I actually made a video a while back that describes everything that I was writing all this stuff down and telling where I was at, how much power I was putting in, how much power was going out, how much this, how much that, everything that was going on. I had it documented and made a video. Now, because it did what it done, and talking to them and discussing the problems and the issues and everything else, they are undoubtedly 99% sure that once they put it on there, get the relay replaced, and they turn right around and put the thing on a scope, I want it to operate on the tech and general portions of 10 meters. How much harder could that be to ask for? I don't know why, but it will operate on the very high side of 10 meters. Okay? Like the very top of the 10-meter band. It'll operate. Not that great, but it'll operate, but it won't kick off. You get down there around 28,400, 28,500, 28,600, whatever. You get down in there and it clicks off. And I think sometimes I wonder when you talk to them about it, well, you know, it's not going to work down there because it's too close to 11 meters. I'm tired of hearing that. Okay. I am sick and tired of hearing that come out of another man's mouth, telling me, well, it's too close to 11 meters. No, it's not. No, it's not. You got 11 meters, you got 10 meters. Make the thing operate on 10 meters. Simple enough. I could care less. I could care less if it operated on 11 meters. I don't have no desire to go down there. My radios are not opened up and don't have the Mars mods done to them because I could care less. Don't advertise something to work from 6 to 160 with a good SWR, which my SWRs are like phenomenal on all the bands, like 1.2 to 1, pretty much the whole deal. I can put a dummy load on the dang gum thing, and it's a perfect match, and it'll operate, and then it'll click off. Okay. If it'll operate on 6, skips 10, 12 meters, it starts to kind of have a little bit of a problem there. Certain portions of 10 meters, it'd have problems even with a dummy load. It wouldn't be bad, but you got to understand there's absolutely no SWR, which in turn, you don't have, hello, Brother Sean, you do not have any kind of going out. So if nothing's going out, nothing's moving. And if nothing's moving, it ain't got no reason to go out of the spectrum. And it ain't got no reason to go crazy on a scope if the amp's going to a dang dummy load. Because all it see is perfect flat nothing. But the first time it starts to fluctuate, which would be from voice, talking, going through the scope, you got movement. And if you got movement and it's out of the coil's range of motion for signal going through it, and it hits a certain peak, it clicks the amp off. It's not rocket science, okay? I don't care what they say. When you got dummy load on it, it's called dummy load for a reason. You can run all you can run, and you can figure out that the amp's fine. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Be on a dummy load all the time. But when you're letting that power release and go through the coax and go out to an antenna, and it's doing all that going through the scope, when it starts showing that fluctuation, that's where you're seeing it get out of harmonic. And when it gets out of harmonic, that coil is made to where those components interact with it, and it sees it gets out of spec a little bit, and it shuts off. I don't know how else to paint the picture. But I do know this. Once they get it fixed, we'll do a video. I'll have it right here. We'll open it up. We'll get it installed. We'll put everything back together. And when that time comes, we'll go back to operating and see if that fixed the problem. I'm sure it will, because I was very adamant about keeping that harmonics in a safe zone where it could operate on 10 meters. And I know, it still goes back to same people saying the same broken record, spinning the same song every time. Well, you just want to get on 11 meters. No, I don't. Okay? Forget it. It's like talking to a wall. I do not care about that side of the radio spectrum. I do, however, love 10 meters. And when 10 meters is open, and there is a lot of people I'd say within 5 states of me, got a 10-meter group, and all of us meet together. Now, granted, we need about 200-300 watts to talk sometimes. I would just like to be able to do a little bit of the legal limit for 10 to be able to carry on a better conversation, because the band's not always open like it should be, and, that's typical for all the bands, whether it's 6, 10, 12, 17, 20, 40, 75 and 80, 160, whatever. Another band I had a lot of fun with was 17 meters. Matter of fact, I like 17 and 20 meters and 40 meters. And I like 10 meters. I'm not too crazy about 80. There's some good people on there. But there's some people on there that match right up with that group that's on 40 meters in that one particular spot. That's how I started in the hobby, bud. But however, why use 11 when you have the ham ticket and you can go anywhere on the ham spectrum that your license allows? Exactly. Worked real hard to build this, all of this. I know you can't probably really see it, but with everything I got up in the air, everything I got to operate on, 17, 20, and 40 are really fun bands, especially when the DX is kind of rolling a little bit. It's really nice. Um, the relay going out completely knocked me out of using the amplifier. No big deal. It'll get fixed. The other part of it is well, when you say that, Sean, here's something else too. I got my friend in the city of Bath, England. Now, of all bands, and we were live video chatting, kind of like we're doing on YouTube. We were talking to each other on the phone. I said, I'm on 10 meters right now. I got my beam pointed towards you in England from South Carolina. I said, let me just key up and see if you can hear me. Well, before I could key up, Rob had keyed up in England and said, yep, I'll see if you can hear me. And he heard me over the phone. And he started laughing. I keyed up and he could hear me. So I asked him, I said, so how good are you hearing me? And he said, about 5'9". I said, on 10 meters with 100 watts, you hearing me 5'9" in England. That's pretty cool. So we got sarcastic with each other. I said, heck, let's just try FM. He could still hear me. I said, well, let's just go to AM then. He could still hear me. I turned my power all the way down to 25 watts. He could still hear me. I turned all the way down to 5 watts. Me and him both could still carry on a decent conversation with 5 watts on 10 meters. And 6 can be the same way. 6 meters is a magic band. When that band is open, you can make some very unusual contacts. It's really cool. But in all essence, 10 meters is a really good band. I've always enjoyed it. I always will. 10 and 17 and 20 are my 3 most favorite bands, hands down. It's just something about them. But hopefully in the next month, they'll get my 1306. They'll replace that relay. They'll turn right around and get the relay replaced. And they will stretch or shorten up that coil and try to get it to where they can get it to be more resonant on 10 meters when that amp's on 10 meters. And as long as they can do that, and it'll work everywhere else as advertised, I'm fine with that. That's all I ever really wanted anyway. But electronics can be something else. There's no doubt about that. But we will get that squared away here pretty soon. Hopefully we'll be able to do a video and get more figured out with it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Just remember, that 1306 was giving me all those fits. I made all those videos, and then we finally figured out what was going on. Now it's just a matter of time of waiting on it to come back from Ameritron, which, if I could mention it again, Ameritron's main office and number is no longer. They moved down the road to MFJ. They, I guess, laid off a lot of their technicians. Brands and names is changing, and I guess they moved from Ameritron office down to the MFJ office. So if you need anything done that has to do with Ameritron amplifiers, call MFJ. Call MFJ, because that's who's going to have to, that's where the shop tech's at now. They are about 4 months behind because they got so much work that they were working on, and then stuff just started rolling in right when they were shutting the doors, so they're covered up. And they're only like 2 people down there working right now, not 8 or 10, or ever how many they did have. I don't know what number of people they had working there, but they had enough to keep up with the workload pretty decent. other than that, I just wanted to kind of cover that situation a little bit because I've been getting a lot of questions about it. And a lot of my subscribers have been asking me about this. I've been extremely busy. I have not had time to get on YouTube. And I probably won't have time to get on YouTube for a little while longer because there is things going on that I have to take care of. And until I can get these taken care of, I cannot be on here right now. Understand it's family related. Having to do things that requires time and effort, and there's no time for me to be on here while these things are going on. Family first, like you said, Sean. Family first. And I'll get back on here later. I can promise you that. But right now, I got to take care of this. And hopefully, we'll see you a little bit later on. I don't want to make this video too long and take it for freaking ever to load up. But y'all be sure to like, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, subscribe, check out the rest of my videos. And hey, I appreciate you, Sean. I do. I really do. Um, you know I will. Trying to see if you can see that. Oh, man. But y'all be sure to subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you want to do. And we'll try to catch you up with the Ameritron problems and issues, how they got fixed, what got done. Take it from there. Once it comes back to this house of mine in the mail, whenever that may be, it seems like it's been gone forever, but I know it'll be back sooner or later. But anyway, point is, you got to wait on it. It's going to be a little bit of time, and I got family things I got to take care of, so it's just the way it is. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and keep those questions coming in because I have been noticing those. I have been noticing the questions, and they've all been directly directed towards the RF issues and the doggone Maratron 1306, which I appreciate each and every one of y'all for doing that. Apologize for the camera being turned that way, but for some mysterious reason, it will not let me turn it the other way, and I was not going to sit here and fight with it. So if you're having a look at this with a narrow screen, it is what it is. It just happened. It won't let me straighten it up. Anyway, y'all be good. I'll catch y'all later. I forgot how to turn one of these things off.